On May 20th, 2013, the largest EF5 tornado ever recorded touched down, leaving a trail of destruction that few could have imagined.
It's right there in front of us, David. It's on the ground right there. It's crossing 40 right now, a half a mile.
This was not just any tornado. It was a colossal wall of wind and debris, spinning violently at wind speeds exceeding 300 miles per hour. Its massive funnel stretched over a mile wide, darkening the sky and tearing through everything in its path. What makes this event even more remarkable is that it was caught on camera, showing the terrifying power of nature in full force. Footage from storm chasers and residents reveals the tornado growing larger by the second, devouring fields, homes, and anything that dared to stand in its way. The sound alone was enough to freeze hearts. The roar of wind combined with the cracking of trees and the shattering of buildings created a scene of pure chaos. As this tornado moved forward, entire communities braced for impact, unaware of the scale of destruction that awaited them. People scrambled to find shelter, emergency sirens blared, and for a few minutes, the world seemed to hold its breath. This EF5 tornado was more than a storm. It was a record-breaking force of nature, a reminder that sometimes humanity is powerless in the face of true fury. The tornado struck a small town in the heart of Oklahoma, an area usually known for calm fields and quiet neighborhoods. On that day, the sky began to darken unusually fast, turning a deep, ominous shade of gray that stretched across the horizon. Emergency alerts began to sound on phones, warning residents of severe weather and potential tornado activity. Sirens blared throughout the town, cutting through the afternoon air, signaling that danger was approaching. Families rushed to secure their homes, grabbing emergency kits and trying to prepare for the worst. In the surrounding countryside, storm chasers were already in position, cameras ready to capture any signs of rotation. They could see the massive storm system growing in size, but no one, neither the locals nor the experts, expected the tornado to become this large. Hints of its power were already visible. The clouds twisted violently, forming a dark, spinning funnel in the distance, and debris began to lift from open fields as the wind strengthened. The atmosphere was tense. Every gust of wind seemed louder, every distant crash of thunder more threatening. People watched nervously from windows and rooftops, unsure if they should flee or stay sheltered. Even the storm chasers, used to witnessing extreme weather, exchanged worried glances. The town braced itself, but nothing could prepare them for the force that was about to descend. The tornado, still miles away, was already shaping up to be the largest EF5 ever recorded, and its arrival would change everything in its path. The EF5 tornado began forming far out in the open plains, where powerful warm and cold air currents collided, creating a violent storm system. As the winds twisted and turned, a funnel cloud slowly descended from the darkening sky, spinning violently with an almost hypnotic intensity. This rotation, a hallmark of EF5 tornadoes, gathered strength quickly, pulling in debris, dust, and even parts of small structures from the surrounding fields. Wind speeds were measured at over 300 miles per hour, the kind of force that could level entire neighborhoods in seconds. From miles away, people could see the massive funnel growing larger by the minute, a towering column of destruction stretching from the sky to the ground. Its dark, swirling core seemed to devour all light around it, and the debris flying through the air added to its terrifying presence. Storm chasers, positioned strategically with cameras rolling, captured every moment of this record-breaking tornado. Their excitement mingled with fear. Residents on the outskirts of town looked on in disbelief, some pointing and shouting warnings, while others scrambled to find shelter. Animals ran frantically, sensing the approaching danger. Trees bent and snapped as the winds began to touch the outer edges of the tornado's reach. The storm's roar was deafening, a constant, low rumble that grew louder with each passing second. Even the most experienced meteorologists monitoring the storm could hardly believe the scale of its size and power. This was not a typical tornado. It was historically massive, larger and more destructive than anything recorded in recent memory. As it moved closer to the town, the spinning funnel cloud stretched wider, its base growing darker and more menacing, and debris swirled around it like a violent tornado of its own. Every second brought the tornado nearer, and with it came an overwhelming sense of dread. People clutched their loved ones, prepared their shelters, and braced for impact, knowing that once this EF5 tornado touched down in the heart of the town, nothing would remain untouched by its terrifying power. When the EF5 tornado finally touched down in the town, the scene was pure chaos. Houses were ripped from their foundations, walls collapsing and roofs flying through the air like fragile paper. Trees were uprooted and thrown across streets, power lines snapped, and vehicles were lifted and tossed as if they weighed nothing at all. Roads became impassable, blocked by fallen trees, debris, and overturned cars, cutting off escape routes for anyone trying to flee. Schools and workplaces emptied in a panic, sirens still wailing in the background, warning residents of the danger that had already arrived. People ran through the streets, clutching their children and pets, shouting warnings, and praying for safety. "I couldn't believe my eyes. Everything was flying," one resident later recalled, describing the unbelievable force of the storm. The tornado, a mile wide in some sections, moved with terrifying speed, its swirling winds reaching over 300 miles per hour, leveling entire neighborhoods in a matter of minutes. Windows shattered, furniture and personal belongings were ripped from homes, and dust and debris filled the air, making it nearly impossible to see or breathe. The sound was deafening, a constant roar of wind mixed with the crashing of wood, metal, and glass. People huddled in basements, bathtubs, and closets, hearts pounding, powerless against nature's unstoppable fury. Emergency responders struggled to move through the destruction, rescuing those trapped under debris and helping the injured, but the sheer scale of devastation made every rescue feel like a battle against overwhelming odds. By the time the tornado moved on, dozens of homes were completely destroyed, hundreds more severely damaged, and thousands of people left in shock. Entire blocks were flattened, leaving behind twisted metal, shattered trees, and scattered personal belongings, a testament to the storm's unimaginable power. Fear and despair mingled with relief for those who survived, as families checked on each other and tried to make sense of the destruction. In those terrifying moments, survival instincts took over, but the town had learned a harsh lesson. No human effort, no shelter, and no preparation could fully protect against a tornado of this magnitude. Nature had shown its absolute dominance, leaving devastation in its wake and hearts heavy with fear and disbelief. Amid the chaos of the EF5 tornado, cameras captured scenes that would be remembered for years. Storm chasers risked their lives to film the massive funnel cloud, their cameras showing debris swirling like a violent tornado within the tornado itself. The footage was both terrifying and awe-inspiring, revealing the full scale of nature's raw power. Residents, meanwhile, demonstrated courage that no camera could fully capture. Neighbors pulled each other from collapsing homes, carrying children and elderly through streets blocked by fallen trees and shattered debris. Pets trapped in overturned yards were rescued, often at great personal risk, as families refused to leave any living being behind. Emergency services worked under extreme danger, moving through the storm's aftermath to reach those in need. Firefighters, paramedics, and police navigated roads littered with broken trees, power lines, and destroyed vehicles, carrying the injured to safety while the tornado's lingering winds continued to swirl debris around them. One man recounted pulling his neighbor's child to safety while balancing on unstable rubble, the wind threatening to sweep them away at any moment. Heroism was not limited to trained professionals. Ordinary people became lifesavers in those terrifying minutes. Volunteers formed human chains to rescue those trapped in basements, while others provided first aid with whatever supplies they could find. Every action, every risk taken, was a testament to human bravery in the face of overwhelming destruction. The tornado had left devastation in its path, but it also revealed the best of humanity. Cameras and smartphones recorded acts of survival and heroism that would later inspire millions, proving that even in the most chaotic and terrifying moments, courage, empathy, and determination could make the difference between life and death. The footage and stories emerging from that day reminded everyone that while nature could destroy, the human spirit could respond with incredible resilience and selflessness. When the EF5 tornado finally moved on, the aftermath was staggering. Entire neighborhoods had been leveled, leaving nothing but piles of rubble where homes once stood. Streets were filled with broken trees, scattered vehicles, and debris that made movement almost impossible. Power lines lay twisted on the ground, cutting off electricity and communication for the entire town. The cost of the damage was shocking: hundreds of homes destroyed, thousands more damaged, and numerous injuries and fatalities reported. Families wandered through the wreckage, searching desperately for loved ones, often finding their homes and possessions completely gone. Despite the devastation, residents began coming together to help one another. Neighbors cleared debris, shared food and water, and assisted the injured as emergency services worked tirelessly to reach the most affected areas. The environmental impact was also immense. Countless trees had been uprooted, local wildlife displaced, and farmlands torn apart, leaving scars on the landscape that would take years to recover. Streets that had once been familiar and safe were now unrecognizable, a reminder of how fragile life can be in the face of nature's fury. Even as rescue and recovery efforts began, the emotional weight of the disaster was clear. Survivors carried shock and grief, knowing that some would never return to their homes or lives as they had known them. Even after the tornado passed, the town would never be the same. Many reflected, mourning both lives and memories lost. The destruction left a permanent mark, but it also revealed the strength of a community united in the face of catastrophe. Slowly, amidst the chaos, rebuilding efforts began, and the resilience of the human spirit shone through. Yet, the images of flattened streets, twisted metal, and shattered homes would remain unforgettable, serving as both a warning and a reminder of the tornado's terrifying power. The EF5 tornado that tore through the town was a stark reminder of nature's unstoppable power. Even with warnings, shelters, and emergency plans, the sheer force of wind and debris left humans powerless in comparison. Yet, amid the destruction, lessons emerged about preparation, community, and the importance of acting quickly when danger approaches. People learned that survival often depends on both courage and cooperation, as neighbors helped neighbors, and strangers risked their lives to save others. The tornado tested the limits of human resilience, but it also revealed the strength that emerges when individuals face unimaginable adversity together. Families rebuilt their lives, communities came together, and emergency services refined their strategies, all determined to face the next storm with knowledge and courage. The images, stories, and footage of that day remain unforgettable, showing both the terrifying force of nature and the bravery of those who endured it. This tornado was not just a meteorological event. It was a life-changing experience for everyone involved. It left scars on the land, in homes, and in hearts. Yet it also inspired a deeper respect for the power of the natural world. This was the largest EF5 tornado ever caught on camera, a terrifying reminder of nature's fury.